Welcome to Section 4, Crisis Proofing and Crisis Preparing Your Organisation. Founding, building and running a cliff-edge crisis negotiation unit, I had to learn how to crisis-proof our organisation. We ran a not-for-profit where we had problems advertising what we were doing because of the risks that caused in attracting people to the place. This of course made it very challenging to raise funds. We were constantly under the glare of national and international media as challenging and newsworthy incidents occurred. We had a steady stream of people in high levels of distress that we were dealing with on a daily basis. We had the threat caused by unpredictable behaviour to our team and the threat of working in a constantly changing high-risk environment. We had the normal issues of team dynamics, and those caused whilst working under extreme pressure. For individuals, there are physical and psychological challenges dealing with the extremes of death and life. And then there are the relationships among a team working in such conditions. Alongside all that, we were dealing with the normal everyday risk of crisis that organisations face, whatever their industry. All of that meant that there were a significant number of risks to the continued success and longevity of the organisation which we were always facing. This led us to focus strongly on how best to crisis-proof and crisis-prepare. This section is all about how you can begin to do that for your organisation, team or project. Crisis-proofing can seem a daunting task, but we are faced with significant challenges before we ever even get to preparing or preventing specific crises. Once we get past the greatest threat to being crisis prepared, we can find that the process of crisis-proofing is easier than we first imagined. So in this section, we're going to look at the common categories for organisational crisis. Following that, we're going to look at recent statistics for organisational crises, which is going to show us that we can do more to crisis-proof than we realised. Then I'm going to give you the basic crisis-proofing model we're going to follow. Once we've looked at the model in detail, I'm going to get you to do some exercises which will start you on the crisis-proofing journey. The great thing is that in crisis-proofing, we are creating more resilient organisations, which will in turn create better and more effective organisations, and that is always going to be a good thing. What we're doing is developing a crisis-proofing process for organisations, but it's not just limited to application in organisations. The tools taught in this section can be applied to many aspects of our lives. So let's get into crisis-proofing and crisis-preparing your organisations. Firstly though, we need to uncover and face the greatest threat to crisis-proofing, the subject of our next lecture.